So here's the thing. We have made a number of videos talking about the newest top prospect in the Vancouver Canucks system, Caleb Malhotra. We dove into the Vancouver Canucks' board and their reaction to Ivar Stenberg getting taken second, the pretty seemingly obvious body language that the Canucks displayed in the room that indicated disappointment when Stenberg went number 2, as well as the inevitability that Caleb Malhotra was going to be the guy at number 3, a decision that I don't think anybody was really too surprised to see go down. Either way, we've spoken a ton about Malhotra over the past few months heading into the draft. We talked about his leadership, his production, the crazy second half of the season he had with the Brantford Bulldogs, and also the fact that he is the son of current Vancouver Canucks head coach Manny Malhotra. But what we haven't talked too much about is the character of Caleb Malhotra. Maybe not as much as I think we should be. And the reason I say that is because I wanted to turn over your attention to none other than a guy that I think most of us are familiar with here on the West Coast, Zach Hyman. Out of the Edmonton Oilers, a guy who once played for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and a guy who also happens to be the brother of Spencer Hyman. Now, who is Spencer Hyman? Well, he is a Michigan Wolverines alumni, but more importantly, he also is the GM, franchise owner, and president of hockey operations of the Brantford Bulldogs, the team that Caleb Malhotra suited up for this most recently completed campaign, scoring 84 points in 67 games. Now, if you wanted to go out there and look at it, Zach Hyman also does have a position within the Bulldogs. He is the president and governor of the team, whilst also being the franchise owner. He bought the franchise from Michael Andlauer on January 14th, 2025. So it's been a while for Zach Hyman, whilst completing his pro career, to get ownership of the Bulldogs themselves. We had ourselves a video interview where Zach Hyman at the golf tournament goes out there and praises the Canucks pick and Bulldogs alumnus Caleb Malhotra ahead of the World Junior Summer Showcase. This was from yesterday. Zach Hyman and his family were approved as owners of the OHL's Brantford Bulldogs in January last year, and Hyman had high praise for recent third overall draft pick and Bulldog alumni Caleb Malhotra. Hyman also spoke about playing against Nick Lardis, another Bulldogs alumni in the NHL, and what it's like to now be rivals with Mark Hunter, who was the assistant GM when Hyman played for the Maple Leafs. The video will be linked in the description if you want to go out there and watch this yourself. You can see the thumbnails on my Google Chrome, but not the actual video itself. Yeah, there's some sort of mirroring protection that TSN has on their website to not allow you to actually show videos on video capturing software, but the thumbnails are all there if you wanted to see that. Here's a tweet from Mark Masters that highlights the commentary made by Zach Hyman. Caleb Malhotra is an unbelievable kid. You'll enjoy getting to know him at that camp. Manny did a great job raising him. He expects to see Caleb Malhotra in the NHL pretty soon. Now, that's fine and dandy. Look at that, eh? An NHL player going out there and directly talking about a third overall pick in the most recent draft. That's pretty rare. You don't normally see established NHL players go out there and just share their opinions about guys taken in the most recent selection. But obviously there is a link there. Zach Hyman owns the team that Malhotra graced the sweater of. And it turns out Spencer Hyman, the brother, also had a number of very positive things to say about Caleb. Here is one of the last video segments / podcasts / radio hits from our very beloved Sportsnet 650, now defunct in the radio scene and no longer a available spot for us to look and digest sports-related content. So unfortunate how everything fell apart with the station itself out of nowhere, too. Like, I say fell apart, that makes it seem like it was a slow, gradual decline. No, it was just one day the station was taken off the air, along with a bunch of other stations across Canada. Quite the heartbreaking scene, eh? But before the station went off air, you did have yourselves a Canucks Central interview done with Spencer Hyman, the Bulldogs GM. He said that Caleb was our best player at 17 years old. I don't say that lightly. The Canucks really did get a superstar human as well as a superstar player. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. If you listen to the entire segment and the actual Canucks Central episode, this is the definition of effusive praise. Spencer Hyman says he'd put his career on the line betting on Caleb Malhotra. And you listen to the clip, you listen to Spencer Hyman speaking out about Caleb, and you can tell the love is there. He loves this guy. And everything that Caleb was able to display in the Bulldog system, not just from an on-ice perspective, but also just from a character perspective, this is a guy that the Bulldogs, the Hymans, they absolutely loved to have dealt with, and it seems like they are very honored and blessed to have been able to have Caleb in their system in order to learn about this guy, in order to see where his career is going to go, and to play a part in the path that Caleb is going to develop for himself as he becomes a National Hockey League athlete. It's been noted a few times by us here on this channel, but maybe not enough times, honestly, that Caleb Malhotra's personality is the real deal. You look at some of the videos where Caleb Malhotra is hanging out with kids on the ice, heading into the NHL Draft. This guy is just such a leader. He is a welcoming presence. He's got great energy. You talk about the leadership that he had displayed when the Canucks prospects were doing the Abbotsford grind. He was like the only one that said beforehand that, yeah, it's going to be easy. We're going to crush this, guys. Let's go. Let's go. That sort of positivity lends itself to just being a guy that you want to win for. A guy that inspires you to bring out the best in yourself, and a guy that cultivates a positive leadership environment for everybody else on his hockey team. Those are the kinds of leadership traits that I think Hyman and Hyman have referred to, and they're the kinds of leadership traits that Ryan Johnson and the Sedins have valued a ton over the past few weeks, especially after all this Quinn Hughes stuff went down, and his leadership was put into question. Hey, we went from Henrik Sedin to Bo Horvat to Quinn Hughes. There's a very big decline in actual tangible, community-driven leadership and on-ice welcomeness that seemed to have gone down within this club. And Caleb Malhotra is one of the main guys that's being brought in to try to fix that. Him, Coots, you could talk about Novotny as well as one of these guys. Rogowski seems to have a good head on his shoulders. The Canucks are bringing in character personalities, guys that happen to be big, guys that happen to be point producers, guys who happen to be good dudes. And for Caleb Malhotra, I think this commentary from Zach Hyman speaks volumes as to the potential that he has in the National Hockey League. If Zach Hyman is saying, yeah, he's going to be an NHLer real soon, I would hope that he is absolutely correct about that. So with all that said, let me know your thoughts in the comments. How do you feel about Caleb Malhotra, his leadership, and what Zach and Spencer Hyman had to say about this guy heading into the upcoming year? We'll see how he plays at Boston University. We'll see how he plays at the World Junior Summer Showcase. He's still over there doing his thing. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.